The BNSF Pasadena local continued operating on the Pasadena sub after it was closed as a mainline through route in 1994. A few shippers, primarily the brewery in Irwindale, still got rail service until Gold Line construction put a temporary end for the local west of Pomona. On March 1, 2020, we caught it going over Route 66 in Glendora, returning east from the brewery. Prior to construction, many places along the route were lined with trees and telegraph poles, looking like something straight out of the past. At Irwindale, we got a good view of the brewery. The Pasadena sub no longer goes west of this point. However, the light rail Gold Line occupies what used to be Santa Fe's 2nd District, later known as the Pasadena Subdivision, all the way into Los Angeles. It currently goes as far east as Azusa. Later in 2020, construction on extending service to North Pomona began, which changed the appearance of the old Pasadena sub forever. The local here at the Irwindale station got to run on its own separate right-of-way, independent of all light rail traffic. Typical power was 3 GP60M-3s. It's March 6, 2020. The Pasadena local was seen switching cars at the brewery. This brewery was opened in 1980. There was talk of either shutting it down or finding a buyer to keep operations going. At this time, the brewery was owned by Molson Coors, but before the end of 2020, it was sold for $150 million to Pabst Brewing Company. On April 14, 2020, the Pasadena local headed west through Laverne. By this time, early stages of Gold Line construction were already starting to affect several areas along the right-of-way. But this particular stretch was left untouched for the time being. Today's local was delivering packaging material to the brewery. On September 22, 2020, the local headed west, coming into San Dimas. By this time, the train was operating on a very limited weekly basis. The brewery had been temporarily closed, and QB Foods next door only needed sporadic cars, such as what was being delivered on this day. You might notice new rail at the bottom center of your screen. Things are changing fast. Thanks for looking back with us.